What's happening, YouTube? It's your homie S. Dot coming back to you with another video. And today's video is going to be a matchup between me and my boy Cinto. Shout out to Cinto. Playing a purple versus red matchup. He is playing the red Omni slash, well, I guess, excuse me, red Greymon tribal deck, and I am playing good old basic Chaos Gallantmon deck. You know, so no Lilith shenanigans or anything like that. This is also my first hand at trying commentary as well, so let me know how my commentary is down below, and I will try to do more of these, maybe once per week, once every other week, because it does take a while to, you know, edit and upload these. But you know, I wanted to try doing this because I did this for a lot for the Transformers card game as well. So I started out with Digivolving, yeah, as usual. Pretty much the most basic you want to start every game with Greymon into a Meramon to put him at 1. And then what's kind of funny is the Greymon tribal deck is really good at choking you back at 1 on turn 2, because they have all most of their level 4s, you know, the Greymons and stuff are all 2-drops except for maybe the Monochromons. So I'm gonna give him 2 memory by Digivolving into Black WarGrowlmon, which is a very good position that, you know, any purple player would like to be in. Having the Greymon under the WarGrowlmon to be able to Digiburst and bring back the Greymon, of course, to extend your combos with Chaos Gallant later on, is very nice. So a red tribal player here is going to choke me right back. And now these first couple turns, I feel like such chess, like such you know, basic chess, how these turns end up rolling out. He chokes me back with the Volcanidramon that gives security attack +1. I'm going to play a Matt and Tie. I feel like this is probably one of the best windows to play the Matt and Tie. What this also does is potentially not allow him to, or make him not want to evolve into a level 6 this turn if he doesn't have like a big push with it. You know, because the Matt and Tie will give you 2 memory when you Digivolve into a, or excuse me, when your opponent has a level 6 or higher at the start of each of your turns. So he's just going to play a Nokia, establish, go to 0 memory. He's going to, oh, excuse me, he played the Nokia to play the Agumon that I think searches a Tamer. You reveal 5 cards off the top of your deck and you search for a Tamer. He did hit the Tamer. Oh, he's looking at, I don't know if it really matters how the order you put the cards at the bottom of your deck. I think that maybe matters against like security control, because a lot of times you get close to decking out against that deck, depending on, you know, how you're playing. But he did get the Tamer off of it, which is nice. So it's still his turn. He can, okay, no, he's not going to set up with it. He's just going to choke me back at 1, which is respectable. Get a blocker on the field to help establish. But when he finally does bring out a Mega from his raising area with the his stack that he has. But I'm actually going to Digiburst, moving pretty quick here. Digiburst, bring out the Greymon. The only reason this makes sense is to potentially bring out, as you can see, Cinto's hand is over the blocker already because he's assuming that I'm going for Chaos Gallantmon. I actually don't go for Chaos Gallantmon here, so that's interesting. Maybe I don't have the Mega, and maybe I have a bunch of rookies in my hand, so I wanted to be able to raise, so next turn I can hatch another egg to dig deeper into my deck, you know, draw for turn and then draw for free with the rookie to try to find a level 6. I didn't want to sit back there forever. It's potentially the thing I could think of. Maybe I could have sat back there for 1 more turn and still did the same play, you know, play the Candlemon and just pass, but another reason why I'm doing commentary over this game, which is just perfect, is it was a really hot day when we were playing on a Friday, and we had the fan blowing. So like when I did the video at first, I was like, oh man, I can't post this with that fan blowing. Even if I put background music, it's going to sound really bad. But digression aside, Cinto is going to bring up his raising Digimon and Digivolve into a Victory Greymon. So what that's going to do is he taps Nokia to make it a 3 cost instead of a 4 cost, and you got to Digiburst 2 of your Digimon from your Digivolution sources, excuse me, to a -8k one of your opponent's Digimon. So it's red / Angemon, if you will, and the perfect candidate is probably my WarGrowlmon. There's no reason to hit the Greymon, although I wouldn't gain a memory, because with Greymon, if it's deleted by a card effect, you gain a memory, but since it's being deleted by a game mechanic, I wouldn't gain a memory. But yeah, he is going to, he put me to 2, and then I go to 4 for the Tie and Mat, because wherever he puts me at, I do gain 2 memory if he does control level 6. And he does set me back though, so there's not a lot that I'm going to be able to do to threaten his board or threaten him at all this turn, and he knew that, so that's why I did that play. So a very solid play to set me back. There's another reason, you know, why I should have you know, kept the WarGrowlin back maybe 1 more turn. Maybe I didn't have any other like anything else to like hard drop out of my hand, you know. Well, I guess I did have the rookies, I don't know, but what's done is done. But I end up actually having another black WarGrowl to go up into, which is nice. and I end up choking them at 1 as well. A lot of times I notice, well, I take that back because I have 4 memory. A lot of times when you have 3 memory and you have a memory tamer, Matt and Tide pretty much, is a memory tamer at this point, like, at base, because I always start at 3. When you digivolve into a champion for 1, and then you digivolve into an ultimate, I hit a mat there, nice. So now I'll start at 5 memory at the beginning of every turn. You just chain it the way you chain it, or not chain it, but the way you order it is start with 3 with your purple mat, and then you'll gain the 2 off the tie-in mat, which is really nice. But yeah, being able to choke your opponent at 1 all the time when you have a memory tamer, you play a champion for 1, then you play one of your ultimates for 3, and that'll be 4 total to put your opponent at 1. So that's one of the most basic ways you can choke your opponent as well. And raising, definitely one of the things I like to do a lot when I have the opportunity to. So now that I have the time mat, and I also have now that I'll be able to start at 5 memory, that's huge, because now I'll be able to play the Chaos Gallant and not pass turn. The only thing though is this deck doesn't have a lot of attack boosting. So like the Chaos Gallant being at 12 is the best I'm gonna be able to get. So I'm actually not gonna. The best I can do is trade with that Victory Greymon. So we'll see what ends up happening here, how I'm able to get over it. Tactimon now. Tactimon is a very nice out to this, because Tactimon will gain 2,000 attack upon attacking and make him 13. So since I was finishing out his turn, we'll see what he ends up trying to do here. Okay, he's gonna play the Marcus, which makes a lot of sense because I'm gonna go to 5 anyway, no matter what he does. So getting that establishment and finding that turn to get the Marcus out of his hand early enough is very solid. So now he'll be able to start at 3 at every one of his turns too. So no more choking for me. Well, choking him for me. I'm not gonna choke because it's like watch I choke. So I don't know if I didn't really look at my hand. I kind of looked away for a second, but we'll see. I do Digiburst and get the Sukaimon out. Sukaimon has pretty much a Guillemon-esque effect. Its ESS skill, its inheritable, is when the Digimon is deleted. On deletion, you're able to gain 1 memory. So it pretty much is a Guillemon, but you have to Digivolve, of course, over it with a Meramon or whatever. And it's pretty much the same as a Guillemon. Looks like I still don't have a champion, which is really unfortunate. Or not a champion, excuse me, a Mega. I don't have a level 6. Looks like I'm looking at my hand. I have like another Candle, Tapirmon. That's all I can really tell so far. Yeah, really unfortunate. He is going to decide to block here, knowing that the War Growl can swing over it, but he can just answer me right back and, swing the Victory Greymon over my Black War Growl and set me back again, because all I still have is just rookies on the field. Not able to do a lot right now. So I attacked thinking he would block anyway. Let's see what I end up doing here. The Sukaimon can't attack. The Guillemon can, though. Looks like I'm about to play something. So I play a Vilemon for 2. I go to 3, which is still a window for me to be able to potentially play either Tactimon or the ChaosGallantmon. But it looks like I still didn't draw it. But I am going to swing. I'm going to swing over the blocker. So we got a 1-for-1 trade there. I'm also going to swing Guillemon into security, and Guillemon is going to hit a Transcendent Sword. And Transcendent Sword is even more savage here because he has a Greymon on the field. He's able to minus something about 15k. So if I did have a Omnimon Zwart on the field, Omnimon Zwart would just die. If you have a Greymon on the field, you're able to delete a Digimon with 15k or less from your opponent rather than 11k. But Allah said I only had the Black War Growl, so yet again another Black War Growl dies. But now I do have a blocker, and I Hell's Gate his Victory Greymon. So that'll set Sento back a couple turns and it'll give me some time to breathe. The Guillemon got that free value there, and because it'll be able to stand and attack again. He decides to raise, but then he decides to take it back. I should have called a judge, but it's whatever. It's not Sento's boy, so it's all good. We just testing, of course. No worries. Okay, I take it back. He decides to bring the Agumon up again. All right, so Agumon's up. He does have 3 memory to start with, and he also does have Nokia. So whatever he digivolves into, Greymon wise, he'll be able to reduce the cost by 1 by tapping the Nokia, or excuse me, suspending the Nokia. So I was waiting to see what he decides to do here. I do have the blocker, so there's really no chip damage he can do this turn because Vilemon will easily block the Agumon, but I really don't think he's planning on attacking with it anyway. So, okay, so he digivolves into the Greymon that if you digivolve over an Agumon, you gain 1 memory. So it costs 2 to digivolve, but the Nokia and Greymon's effect, it pretty much literally costs 0, which is really nice. So he'll stay at 3, and then he can still digivolve into a 5, which is nice here, and then also into a 6. So if he had like a level 5 and then was able to digivolve into another Victory Greymon to get rid of like my Vilemon or whatever, that potentially be pretty solid for him. but he doesn't. He's going to play a Monochromon, and then he's going to play, Monochromon, and then the Digivolution Monochromon that we got out of set 5. And he's going to play another Nokia. So Nokia's going to put me at 3. I start at 3 anyway, and he's going to play Agumon to help kind of widen his board. Agumon is going to look to search for a Greymon. He hits a Greymon. He got the Metal Greymon, the level 5 Metal Greymon. So that tells me, and just looking at this game again, that he didn't have any ultimates in his hand at the time, but now he does. That's the Greymon that it has an ESS skill, the inheritable. If it gets blocked, that you gain 3 memory. So pretty much like it rarely comes up. But there's certain situations where you could be put in where their Mega might attack your Mega, and it's like, man, I need to protect this Mega, and if I do block, then they gain 3 memory. Or obviously, if they're swinging for game, you have to block, because otherwise you'd lose the game. You gain 3 memory. So very small situations where it does come up, but it does. So I hatch Digivolve to another Guillemon. Looks like I'm still struggling over here because my field's not really developing. But I do have a Devimon blocker for 1. I'm going to Digivolve into security. It's looking like he has 4 security. We both have 4 security. I might have 3. I can't tell. I should have put a dice, I think, when I start doing these commentaries, or when I start doing commentary over these videos, etc. There's a 3rd Wargrowlmon. Jeez, Black Wargrowlmon. So now my field's looking pretty healthy. I got some tamers set up. I got 3 Digimon on the field. He doesn't have anything threatening on the field right now, but although he does have, 2 Nokias, so he's able to reduce by 2 now. So any of his 5 drop Metal Greymons all will just cost 1 now, which is pretty good. But at the same time, because I don't have any, because I have tamers, I'll be able to still gain my memory no matter what. So there's really nothing he can really do to choke me per se. Because even if he goes to 2 right now that he tapped both Nokias, no matter what he does, any War Greymon Mega that he goes into would pass turn to me. So he decides to swing with the Agumon. I'm gonna just let it go. It dives to a Skull Meramon, 6k to his 2k. Looks like I have 3. I think I have 3 security left. It doesn't really look like it, but I think I have 3 left. Make us some space. I'm over here messing with my cards. I think they kind of bend up, so I'm kind of bending them the other way. Digivolves into the Greymon from the starter deck, so it doesn't matter because since the Nokia is a tap now, they cost 4. He will have 2 checks total from that Greymon. And for every 4 sources, you get security attack +1, so he'll be at 12. And then the markers will also allow him to gain a memory as well. So when he swings with it, he can go to 4 memory. So once again, I bring up Black Wargrowlmon and I Digiburst for the Guillemon. Let's see if I actually drew a Mega finally. I'm at 5 memory, so I got a lot to play with, but do I have anything to really establish my field? Okay, I have an Anubis. It doesn't seem as good, but I take that back. You know what? It's okay, because if I have Mega Digimon Fusion here with the Omnimon's work, that'll be very powerful here this turn. So let's see what ends up happening. The Anubis, from the Anubismon, the Guillemon that I brought up, the Guillemon that I brought up this turn does have Rush. I do have the Mega Digimon Fusion. Excuse me, got a bad cough. I'm taking some Luden's cough drops, try to help suppress it. So yeah, Mega Digimon Fusion, and I forget actually. Oh no, I didn't forget. Okay, I did mill 3. It's just cut off the screen. I was gonna say, I think one of the first couple times I played this deck, I like the first times, like let's say 3 or 4 times. Maybe not that many. First couple times I Digivolved in this work, I forgot to mill the 3 and bring back 2 guys. So now my field is really widening, and all of a sudden this burst turn just came out thanks to the Ty and Matt being out to facilitate, allowing me to be able to play the Mega Digimon Fusion. So at first I went to go flip my cards upside down, but I kind of just set them back just so I remember I can't attack with them this turn. Anubismon, of course, is not on the field anymore, so I won't be able to, gain rush with those. So probably the most clear option here is to attack with the Zwart and destroy the Wargreymon, being that Wargreymon is 12 stars. It meets the requirement, and it's also unsuspended. Do keep in mind with Zwart, it has to be a 12 cost or less, and it also has to be unsuspended. So what's interesting about cards that dodge Zwart, something to keep in mind, cards like Imperial Jamon, Lord Nightmon, to name a couple. Dodge the Zort effect, so if you have it unsuspended, you're pretty protected. And this is one reason why purple decks have been playing cards like Trump Sword and Hell's Gate. Yep, there I go right there. So I attack and I unsuspend. I use the Black War Greymon to delete one of my a Transcendent Sword, nice. To delete one. Now, what's funny is if I didn't get rid of that War Greymon, that would have been able to delete something that's 15k or less. So he'd have been able to get rid of the Zort actually, and I wouldn't be able to get the second attack with it. But because I did get rid of it, based off of how the order of operations work, he's only able to delete something 11k or less, and he decides to get rid of the Black War Greymon. Seems like the only viable target at this point. It makes sense because obviously it's going to allow me to set up for another level 6. On the following turn. I did gain a memory from the Guillemon as well, and definitely have 2 checks from the Omnimon Zord as well. So he does have a blocker, and when I swing again, he's probably he may block here. Oh no, he decides not to block. So he's gonna take the last 2 checks here. Okay. And then I just have too many attacks. It doesn't matter. He has a 1 blocker, but despite me having 2 checks, I think either way I still had too many attacks. And even on his next turn, he wasn't going to be able to do enough to be able to get back at me. So ended up working out, and I ended up taking game 1. Moving on to game 2, my boy's going to have me go first. That makes sense because purple, a lot of times, actually doesn't mind going second, being that, it does play about 14 rookies usually, and, if you don't open up a rookie, purple is one of those decks where you really, I guess every deck technically wants their rookie to start with, but it's one of the reasons why purple plays cards like Skull Meramon, being that it's a 5-drop, because, if it does brick, you're able to just drop that and then go into a mega, soon after or in your following turn, as long as, things permit from your opponent anyway. But, yeah, him picking to go second against a purple. Purple's one of those decks that are already really slow, so if it takes them a couple turns to get going, even with a simple rookie, or if they don't have cards like the Skull Meramon, things could be really bad for purple. Purple's one of those kind of high roll decks that towards the end of the game they're very strong and kind of hard to stop. But their early game is kind of weak. To an extent, their early game is kind of weak, and their opening hand really rides on a lot more than other decks. They don't have a really solid on play like Shoutmon. Shoutmon, you can you just play the Shoutmon, or in yellow you can play the Pulsemon and get value out of that. It takes purple a while to set up, even with their rookies. They have Tapirmon, sure, etc., but they can't drop those and get immediate value. They have to wait to attack with those and get value throughout the game. So since I was going to set up a Voltramon here, put me to 3. He doesn't really care what I end up, doing on my next turn, because he probably has a Mega in his hand to be able to, maybe he's also saw a Transcendent Sword in his hand as well earlier. So he definitely has some stuff to be able to put some pressure on me here if I don't do something soon. So let's see what kind of answer I have back. Looks like I have a Gazimon and a Candlemon, and I'm not raising the Devimon blocker. So it looks like I don't have an ultimate, which is unfortunate. I am going to play the Candlemon. I'm going to go to 1, and I'm going to choke him at 1. Excuse me. And play the Devimon Retaliation that costs 2, and put him to 1 and then pass turn, and seems like a decent play, but hopefully I can get a okay, I do have the Black War Greymon, but I guess I think the reason why I did this navigation of play was to be able to put him to 1 instead of giving him, probably, I guess I could have played the War Growl, and then I also could have played the Candle and put him to 2 versus the 1. I don't know how much 2 versus 1 really mattered here. I think that's one thing about my gameplay that I'm trying to work on still. Is there are times where you want to choke your opponent. There's times where it doesn't matter. You need to be able to progress your board as much as possible. And probably playing the War Growl next turn probably could have been better. As we see, he went into a War Greymon, so if I would have gave him 2, he would have put me back at 2. Am I fine with that? I guess that's the real question. It probably was okay. But we'll see how this game pans out based off my decisions, and see if that even matters or not. So I ended up going to the Black War Growlmon here, and he puts me to 3. Excuse me, I put him back to, I put him to 0. But now I'm in a situation where choking him doesn't matter as much this turn. Okay, there's the Candlemon play anyway. So the play I was kind of talking about last turn, it kind of still happened anyway. And I have a sort of more established board. I also have that Devimon Retaliation kind of threatening his War Greymon. So when he attacks, he's going to get a solid bit of checks. But he also has to hope that, first of all, he doesn't die to security. It looks like he's maybe about 13k with 2 or 3 checks. 3 or 4, something like that. I can't count. 11k, 6k, Valmon, both Tactimon. So not playing a Tactimon this game because I only play 2. But yeah, if he has the Omnimon, if he has the Blitz Omni, that'll be really good for him, because otherwise this Devimon is going to get free value in a trade that I never mind making in a situation like this, especially. But if he does end up having the Blitz Omni, of course he'll be able to protect it. Any card that would remove your Omnimon from from the field to the bottom of the deck or to the hand, or delete it, you're able to return one of your level 6 Digimon back to your hand in order to pretty much negate that effect, like stop that effect from happening. So the fact that he's not like just automatically playing the Omni over the War Greymon kind of tells me that he doesn't have it. Normally, a lot of times, like when you have the play, like the quote unquote easier play, it's not something that I really think about. Not saying that he's slow rolling or anything. That'd be messed up if he did slow roll having it on me, because like, dang, you had it this whole time. Oh, okay, and he plays Transcendent Sword, so he's gonna give me 5 memory. He doesn't want me to trade with the War Greymon there, so I respect it, because like I don't have anything. Like both my Tactimons are gone, especially too, and Tactimon was the only card that can really get over 12k easily. The ChaosGallantmon is not able to get over it. I would have to trade, and I don't have any other attack boosting effects. But I do have the other Retaliation Devimon, so very unfortunate for Sento that I ended up having the second one. I only played 2. I probably had both in hand at one point, so good thing I didn't get rid of it for a Demi Meramon. But that really worked out. Of course, we did the Black Worker out Digiburst at the start of our turn. Can't forget about that. I do have the Mega here, so I don't get to pop anything, but I still will be able to resolve the effect. Choke him. I was at 2, put him to 2, and then I go back to 1 for the oh no, I guess I'll go to 0. Excuse me, I can't. Yeah, I'm tripping. Okay, I give him 4 here because he has nothing on the field. This is one of those spots where like choking definitely doesn't matter, because I mean, this would be nice like if I did have like a Devimon blocker or something to put over the Guilmon, but ultimately giving him 4 doesn't really matter here. Like if he does have another build, it'll be fine. I'm gonna have a free turn of really swinging a value out of my current board. It's not like a strong board, it's like a really common board, but it's a common board that purple wants to have, so he's not just automatic. Okay, he does have a rookie in his hand. I was gonna say he's not auto. I know a lot of times, I know you gotta let me know in the comments if you think that your opponent when they kind of like slow roll, potentially playing a rookie or not. It's like, do they even have a rookie? And then they take a while, and then they still play a rookie. So honestly, what that tells me is when my opponent takes a minute to think about doing something, and the very first move they do is play a rookie, that tells me they have multiple rookies in hand. There's little tells like that you can tell throughout a game, which are very helpful, to be honest, to kind of tell the makeup of your opponent's hand to an extent. I see it a lot. Your opponent, like, they take a while. If they play fast, then it's probably the only rookie they have. I kind of honestly give that tell away a lot of the times. Kind of, sort of. It depends. Like if I had, like, I'm a big yellow player right now, so if I have like the Patamon in my hand, like Patamon's like one of the almost guaranteed, rookies that you're digivolving. But anyway, long digression aside about if your opponent has a rookie or not. Gonna digivolve into the Greymon from the new set, that if you digivolve over to Agumon, you are able to reduce the cost by 1 if you have and it's a 2 cost, so it'll become a 1 cost, and if you have the Nokia, it'll be free, which is really cool. I forget it's inheritable though. It's weird that I know its main effect, but I forget it's inheritable. But we'll see if it comes up, and we'll figure it out as we go. I know that's bad. Don't judge. But we're gonna play a Monochromon and go to 0. And his turn is not looking like too crazy. I don't think I'm worried at this point. I think like the best okay, he does have a ultimate to go into here. So and it's Rise Greymon too, which is very interesting. So the Rise Greymon will be able to facilitate a free Marcus or Takamiya if he has those cards in his hand, or he draws into it on his next turn, which would be really nice. So he won't have to pay the cost for it. I'm going to digivolve into the Sukaimon that has an inheritable that's very similar to Guilmon, that on deletion you gain 1 memory. But this one's a little different because it's on deletion, gain 1 memory, and it's not like, gain a memory, if you die by a card effect like Guilmon. So if it does die by DP minus, versus yellow, you still would gain a memory in that situation, which is nice. Taking a hot minute here to decide on my turn. I don't know what I'm thinking about. I think one of the most coolest plays and like the most controlling things you can do with this deck is what it looks like I'm about to do right here. Just attack with the Guilmon. I guess I was worried about my Chaos Gallant dying here because I really didn't want it to die. But I think like the first things first, just get like a check. A lot of times, I don't know if you guys noticed this, and I think I said this before in the video, that it seems like the first check is always like something like huge. It almost never fails a lot of the time. Or there's something good, like whether it's a tamer or an option or something crazy. It's always that first check for me where I'm holding my breath. So maybe that's what I'm holding out on, because I'm thinking about that. But Guillemon should easily just go in here. I'm kind of honestly slow playing here. So I'm going to oh, wow. Okay, I swing in the Chaos Gallantmon. I wonder why I did that. So I'm going to swing the Chaos Gallantmon, gain a memory, go to 4, because I started at 3 with the mat. And, okay, sure enough, he does have the Transcendent Sword. Luckily, he doesn't have a Greymon on the field. I'm going to lose the Guillemon. I should gain another memory there, because I think here we were having a conversation about, I keep thinking that it does minus 11,000, but no, it just KOs something that has 11,000. So I think he reminds me here and is telling me that, no, I do gain the effects because it's not minus. So I gain 2 memory total from that Guillemon. Don't really mind that there, actually, so that's fine. The Guillemon still should have swung, because that would have been even more value, because the Guillemon would have swung, he would have killed it with the, not want to say more value, but it's just been better that way, because he would have had to kill the Guillemon anyway with the Transcendent Sword. I would have brought it right back with Chaos Gallant, then Gallant swings in, so I'll take that back. You know what? Now none of that matters. I guess we'd have been in the same situation, literally, so it doesn't actually matter, based off of the fact that he had Transcendent Sword. So I'm going to play Gazimon. Gazimon does not do a lot against this deck, if anything at all. I don't think there are any tamer effects except for the BT1 or 2, whatever it is, Biomon. And I definitely don't think he's playing that Biomon, so we're not going to worry about that. But, oh, and we Digivolve anyway into a Devimon blocker. And we're also going to play Candlemon, put him at 1, and it's definitely going to help me to be able to threaten potential game next turn, because I also have a Digimon in Raising, and he has, oh no, I take it back, he has 4 security. So, I mean, there's potential I could swing with one of my, other guys and it live, because, Candlemon's 3Ks respectable. A lot of times you hit one of their 2Ks or, 2 or 1Ks that they have, and or an option or a tamer, and then it lives, and then you get that value because now Chaos Gallant can swing with the Black Work Growlmon and get value there. So those always feel good plays. Okay, so Sento's gonna Rise Growlmon here, or what? Rise Greymon here. Let's see what he ends up doing. Will he do the Digiburst effect? Digiburst effect doesn't seem super great here though, because as you can see, he has 2 inheritables, and he'll definitely have to choose one of the inheritables he wants to lose out on. So the fact that he's not shotgun doing it kind of tells me that he potentially doesn't have one. He is going to swing though, which is interesting. So he's swinging with the mono, which I can easily block, but then the Rise Greymon can kill it. But then it's going to be like a war of attrition going back and forth. If I block there and then the Rise Greymon kills my Devimon, then my Chaos Gallant threatens attacking and killing the Rise. But then at the same time, if he Digivolves into a Mega here, which would be actually really solid. Like if he Digivolves into it looks like he's about to. Okay. Oh, that's really good, actually. Wow. Okay, so he's going to put me to my 3 that I get anyway, and he's going to de-Digivolve me. So what this makes me do is forces me to have another Mega to answer. Again, I don't have Tactimon, so it'll be interesting to see how I end up overcoming this Blitz, because he has 12k, and with this deck, if you don't have Tactimon to get to that threshold of 13k to get over any 12ks, you're going to actually have a tough time to get over your opponent's Digimon. So it'll be interesting to see what I end up doing. I don't remember how many times I really, looks like I'm swinging. Oh, there's a 12k there, okay. So, I'm going to draw and discard for Demi-Meramon. Unfortunately, I don't have the my graveyard in view, so I could definitely be able to tell you what I discard. Discard something. I don't know what, I hope I discarded. Jeez, unless I'm cheating. I doubt it, though. I just move really fast, so, forgive me for my trash being off screen. But I do have the Hell's Gate though, so this is what I was talking about earlier with purple. There's a threshold. There's a hole in where purple can deal with characters or other opponents' Digimon. So like Chaos Gallantmon and Chimeramon deal with everything 5, any level 5s or lower, and then you have Zwart who can deal with anything that's 12 costs or less. That's also suspended. But then like when you have your opponent's Lord Nightmons and Imperial Jamons or anything else that have 13 or more K, or opposing Omnimons, you can't get rid of those, and especially if they're unsuspended. So that's where Hell's Gate and Trump Sword come in. So shout out to any purple players playing those cards to tech, because those are very necessary for situations like those. I think about playing 1-1 at some point, because like Hell's Gate doesn't activate in security, Trump Sword does, and can give you some solid defensive capabilities. Gonna play the Nokia here. Nokia's gonna drop the Agumon. Agumon's gonna fish 3 cards off the top of the deck and hit a Victory Greymon. So Victory Greymon, if I'm able to choke him to 1, even with the Nokia, I don't think there's a way he'll be able to play the Victory Greymon next turn, because if I put him at 1, I think all of his level 3s are they cost 3, and it'll only cost 2 with the Nokia, but that'll pass turn to me. So I do have the Chaos Gallant to get rid of the Agumon, to not let him get any chips in my Security, I also only have 1 security too, so I have to be very careful. I'm going to bring the Chaos Gallant back, and I ended up actually passing turn to 1 like I was talking about. So we'll see. To my knowledge, again, I don't think there's anything he can do to, like, you know, be able to play 2 cards this turn, because he only has a Nokia. Okay, so he's actually going to swing with the Greymon and draw a card for the Coromon. I'm going to let it go. I mean, well, I have no choice but to let it go because I have no blocker. Ends up being a Skull Marimon, and the Greymon dies. Now I feel like I'm in a very solid position because, you know, he has nothing on the board, and I don't, even though I have 0 security. And he's only able to truly only drop 1 Digimon here, no matter what he drops. There's no 1-cost Digimons he can draw. So not like he could play like a 2-drop and then also, you know, like another rookie or whatever to threaten game next turn. He does drop a Monochromon though to protect his life because it looks like he has 3 security left. So I don't know if he had to do that this turn because he has 3 security. I mean, I guess he could be taking a chance because Guillemon would, you know, if Guillemon lives somehow through that check, and then, you know, facilitates Blackwork Route under the Chaos Gallant to get 2 attacks, then that could be a game. Of course, the Chaos Gallant has to live the first check in order to be able to attack the second time, you know, because if it dies, obviously, in the first check, you can't attack again. But I'm going to play a Tapirmon to kind of help get to a future, get to a position where I went, oh, okay, never mind. So we are going to, since he gave me 5 memory, I had the combo where I was able to play the Takamiya to put myself at 1, and then Mega Digimon Fusion my Chaos Gallant into another Zwart. So I'm going to send the top 3 cards in my deck to the graveyard, and this is probably game unless I hit a 15k, you know, Omnimon in his security. I wonder if I have Chimera. Well, you know what? I'll take that back. It doesn't matter if I have Chimeramon or not because Zwart can easily just attack and then add the Chaos Gallant back to my hand to kill his blocker, and it should end up being the game. I don't know why I'm taking so long. See, sometimes I do this. I'm ahead and then I still take, like, so I think because I've choked sometimes when I've been ahead that I just got to move a little bit slower just to make sure I'm not messing up. So I just bring back the Chimeramon. It doesn't matter how I got a couple different ways I can end up doing this. I'm going to bring back the Chimeramon. I don't even use the effects, which is fine. There's no real reason to do it when the Zwart's going to do it kind of for free technically. So I'm going to do that. I'm going to attack, stand back up, pop the Guillemon with the Blackwork Raumon effect. And of course I get the 2 checks here. It's gonna be Agumon and another Agumon. I'll get another 2 checks here, and I just realized that I misplayed. I could have had the game this turn. There's no way he's going to be able to come back in this situation, unfortunately. But if you guys saw it, I definitely already had lethal. I should have just, there was no reason to keep the Guillemon or like game memory or anything like that. I should have just blocked. I should have just killed off the Vilemon or the Chimeramon, the ones that couldn't attack with the Blackwork Row. Get the 4 total checks with the Zwart, and then attack with the Guillemon for game. That's what I should have done. So in hindsight, looking back, see, this is what I talk about. I overthink things sometimes. But we're still going to play this game out since I was being a good sport about it, despite him knowing the game's most likely over. Even if he drops like 1 blocker. You know, I'll take it back. You know what? I do lose the Zwart here, but I do still have 3 attacks to him having no Digimon on the field. And even if he dropped 1 blocker, you know, the best he can do is drop like a Monochromon 2 drop and then Digivolve into a Monochrome. But even then, I still have 3 attacks. So there's just nothing he's going to be able to do. Fortunately for me, we're going to be able to take this game. So shout out to the homie Sento though for doing this set with me. And yeah, we're just gonna ride this out to the end. And let me know down in the comments what matchups you would like to see below. And you know, I'll definitely try to get some of those matchups up, even if I can't get them in person, because I'm setting my ways with some of my decks that I have. Maybe I can get a matchup with a deck that I have versus a deck that you guys want to see that I don't have access to, or Sento has access to, and we can get that game on screen for you guys via maybe Discord. But you guys know what it is. Y'all have a great day and or night whenever you're catching this video. This is your homie S. Dot, and now peace.